I'm Laura Cravens from Boone County Family Resources. In celebration of Autism Awareness Month, we hope you enjoy hearing from the book Nathan's Autism Superpowers, written by Lori Leigh Yarborough and read by our staff. Learn how the superhero of the book, Nathan, explains his autism spectrum superpowers, how they affect him, and ways his friends can help him when his superpowers spiral out of control. Celebrating Autism Awareness Month is a great way to encourage inclusion in your school and teach the importance of embracing differences amongst others.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I have superpowers. Okay, so my superpowers don't include superhuman strength or the ability to fly, although that would be very cool. My powers come from my autism spectrum abilities. Autism affects how I interact with other people and the world around me, how I communicate with others, and how I learn and process information. The official term is Autism Spectrum Disorder, or ASD, but I just say autism. Spectrum means kids with autism have a range of their own unique abilities and challenges. For example, some kids on the spectrum are nonverbal. That means they don't use words to express themselves. Other kids on the spectrum not only talk, but will sometimes use really big words. But all kids on the spectrum have some aspect of communication delay.
If you don't have autism superpowers, don't worry. It doesn't mean you are any less awesome. It just means we interact differently with the world around us. If you do have autism superpowers, you might still not have the same ones I have because of how we process information in our own ways. An example of this is most kids with autism usually underreact, are hyposensitive, or overreact, are hypersensitive to sensory input. We have trouble with sensory information. These are things we see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and even the way we move around. Our bodies can think the sensory information is too strong, and then we want to avoid it. Or the sensory information is too weak, and then we seek it out. So, let me tell you all about my superpowers and how they affect my interaction with the world.
My first superpower is Supersonic Hearing. Noises seem much louder to me than they do to most people. Blaring music, fireworks booming, people yelling. Those things drive me crazy. Want to know what else bothers me? The buzz of light bulbs, the hand dryers in public restrooms, and the loud hum of a vacuum. They may seem like background noise to others, but when I hear them, I just can't think. Sometimes when my supersonic hearing takes over, I can't pay attention when I should. Other times, I crawl up in a corner with my hands over my ears to try and block out the noise.
Helpful hints for friends. If your friend becomes overwhelmed by his supersonic hearing, he won't be able to figure out what to do. If you see him covering his ears, you can help him find a quiet place where he can regroup. Headphones also help block out too much sound. If your friend is distracted by a background noise and can't pay attention, try and help him figure out what it is and see if he can move to another room or even stop the noise.
Another superpower I have is what I like to call Absolute Select Focus, or ASF for short. All this means is that I can choose to focus every ounce of my energy, thought, and attention onto one thing or activity. And that makes me happy. Too much going on around me feels overwhelming, so I enjoy having just one thing at a time to concentrate on. I love to lie on the floor and roll my wooden trains back and forth on their tracks all day long. Or line up all my Matchbox cars in a perfect row. Or construct creations with brick sets. I even love to draw funny doodles and create intricate mazes and fold origami creations. I can pay attention to something I'm interested in for hours and hours and be perfectly content.
Helpful hints for friends. If you want to play with your friend with autism, you might need to be part of what she's super focused on. You can also help by playing next to her with other friends until she feels like joining. This is called parallel play. If your friend is not focused on the correct activity, sometimes a time timer can help her see a set amount of time she needs to focus on something important before going back to what she really wants to do.
My next superpower is my ability to have complete confidence in my plan A. Okay, so this isn't actually a superpower. This has more to do with my unique toolbox. My mom says everyone is born with a toolbox, but instead of hammers and pliers, this kind of toolbox has things to help me deal with different situations. My toolbox was missing a couple of items, like a plan B. This basically means when something happens, I only have one way to deal with it. If my plan A doesn't work out, I have no idea what to do next. Nothing, nada, zilch. Sometimes when my plan A doesn't work out, I get so frustrated that I lose control and yell and run into a wall because I don't know what else to do. Luckily, I have my mom who's very good at putting on her calm face and modeling a plan B for me. She shows me how to deal with the situation step by step, over and over again, until I finally understand what to do next. Mom calls it putting tools in my toolbox. It turns out that it's really great to have those tools and know how to use them. Thanks, Mom!
Helpful hints for friends. If your friend with autism is doing something that doesn't go the way he planned and has a meltdown, it's just because he has no idea what to do next. Help him find a plan B or another way to finish what he's trying to do. Sometimes it can take a very long time, months or years, of modeling a plan B for it to become a part of his toolbox.
Another superpower that can overwhelm me is my super sniffer. I really don't like strong smells, especially body odor, bad breath, perfume, or even scented lotion. Some foods even offend my super sniffer. So, if I suddenly leave an area or make a remark about a smell, blame it on my super sniffer. Interestingly, some kids with autism love strong smells, and their super sniffer seeks them out.
Helpful hints for friends.
If your friend with autism has trouble with smells, try not to wear strong scents or perfume. Be understanding if she has to leave the room because her sensory system is bothered by certain smells. On the other hand, if your friend loves smells, help her find appropriate or good things to use her super sniffer on.
My superpower of intense, enhanced eyesight seems to kick in when I'm somewhere with strobe lights, bright lights, or blinking lights. Sometimes even with ordinary ceiling lights. My eyes overreact and my whole system goes haywire. When this happens, my only hope is to cover my face to block out as much as I can. My mom helps me move somewhere that doesn't bother me. Sometimes that means just stopping our activities for the day and going home.
Helpful hints for friends. Bright lights can really bother your friend, and if he gets upset and covers his eyes, that is probably what's going on. Lead him to a place that's not so bright, or try and turn off some of the lights in the room. If your friend loves lights, find fun things to look at like light-up toys, fiber optics, and fun bubble lamps.
One of my favorite superpowers is Masterful Memory. I love reading and learning about my favorite subjects. I've memorized books and I even know which page contains which facts. Of course, that only applies to information that interests me. I enjoy facts. Lots and lots of facts. It might surprise you, but even though I love facts, I have a very hard time remembering people's names and faces. I've been told it's because faces have a lot of movement and information, and that can be overwhelming. But give me a minifigure dictionary, and I can memorize every single character along with the year it was made.
Helpful hints for friends. Let your friend with autism teach you about what she loves. If she sometimes forgets your name, just smile and tell her again. You might even help come up with a way to remember. For example, if your name is Lily, tell her to think of a flower when she sees you.
A superpower that can be frustrating when my routine changes is regular routine retention. This means I love a routine. Eating the same thing for breakfast every morning, doing the same activities during the day, going to the same places and staying there for the same amount of time. I hate change. Change is my kryptonite. Change comes from the dark side. I need to know way ahead of time if things are going to be different. And even then, I don't like it.
Helpful hints for friends. Changing plans can be hard for your friend with autism. Let him know as soon as possible. Giving him a typed out schedule can make it easier. If your friend is upset about a routine change, tell him you know how he feels and help him understand that we can't always control everything that happens in our day.
The next superpower is my actual, factual, literal power. I literally take things literally, which means if you tell me a joke, I may not get the funny part. I take what you say and believe it exactly the way you said it. I am not even kidding. I see things in black and white. This means I don't understand sarcasm and I don't like surprises. This also means I like things to make sense in a way that I can understand, like raining cats and dogs.
Helpful hints for friends. Your friend with autism won't get sly jokes and sarcasm. She will honest to goodness believe you meant what you said. And that's very frustrating. But you can explain the joke and point out why it's funny to help her understand.
There are good things and bad things about having superpowers. The bad thing is that my powers don't come with a reaction regulator. It's very hard to regulate or control my emotions. When I get hurt or scared or frustrated, my emotions go straight from feeling great to ready to explode, and I completely overreact. My mom made a scale for me to help visualize what my reaction should be when different things happen. I call this my reaction regulator. It has numbers from 1 to 5 to go along with my emotional levels. It goes something like this. My mom points out the reaction scale and says, "Nathan, you lost your favorite minifigure." That is a 2, which is the same as bummer, not total emergency. You need to bring your emotions and reaction down to a 2.
Helpful hints for friends. If your friend suddenly yells or cries, don't panic. Talk to her in a calm, quiet voice. Try and figure out why she's upset. Give her a number on the scale of how she should be reacting. Make sure she knows you're there to help her with her situation.
My reaction regulator is at a 1 when life is good, and that's when I can be happy. An unexpected situation is a 2. That's a bummer, not a big deal. When things do not go as planned, that's a 3, and I take a minute, then move on. If I'm having a bad day, my regulator goes to a 4, and it's okay for me to be sad. And number 5 is a total emergency, and it's okay to freak out.
My brain is always thinking about something. This is called my perpetual automatic brain activation. I'll just be sitting somewhere trying to pay attention when my brain starts thinking about something completely different, and I can't make it stop. A lot of times I think about several things at once, like doodles I'm working on, my favorite video game creation, and my current building brick project, all at the same time. It's very hard to pay attention to what I'm supposed to be thinking about when my perpetual automatic brain activation is working. I feel like I'm completely locked into my current project and can't leave until I finish. these superpowers, what's a guy to do?
Helpful hints for friends. If your friend is thinking about a project and can't move on, you can help. Figure out how to finish the activity or come up with a time to come back to it. Writing down your friend's project in a small notebook might help him understand it's okay to take a break and come back to it later.
If you're on the autism spectrum, you probably have some of the same superpowers as me, and also some that are unique to you. Find a piece of paper and write down or draw your own superpowers.
My mom helped me figure out activities that are energy draining and activities that are energy building. I usually imagine my energy levels like a battery. Sometimes I tell my mom how much percent my battery has left. Like, Mom, I'm powering down. I'm at 15%. We try and limit energy draining activities and adding energy building activities into my schedule. This really helps me deal with life better, and the energy builders recharge my batteries. Nathan's energy drainers are leaving the house, field trips, eating, traveling, and sports. Nathan's energy builders are building bricks, doodling, swinging or spinning, video games, and a heavy blanket. Find a piece of paper and write down or draw what your energy drainers are and what your energy builders are.
All of my superpowers put together can sometimes make me seem what people call socially awkward. I don't get jokes. I can't read body language. I don't care what I wear as long as my clothes are soft and loose. I prefer to process life like a robot. I just don't act or respond the same as other kids my age. Until people understand my superpowers, they won't ever fully understand me and appreciate me for who I am. My mom always says we need to be kind and encourage each other. We need to build up each other's strengths instead of focusing on each other's weaknesses. For now, I'm going to appreciate my own autism spectrum superpowers and encourage others to appreciate people for who they are. Well, that was exhausting. I'm going to play with my building bricks in my room by myself.